Hello, everyone. My name is Carlos. I'm a facilitator in our community outreach program on the same page, and I want to welcome everybody to Free Minds Right Week, a mutual exchange of hope and healing between incarcerated poets and the community. We thank you all for joining us today. Our featured poet ambassador today is Poet Ambassador Deon. He was just released on the IRA in February of this year. And I want to start by saying, welcome home, Deon. And thank you
Yeah,
for
thank
being
you, Carlos.
yeah, thank you for being with us today. If you don't mind, Dion, right? I want to start off by sharing a poem um, that you have written yourself.
This poem is titled If I Haven't Grown. If I haven't grown, maybe being away from my family wouldn't faze me. I'd be loyal to a cause, a street, a block. I feel comfortable being locked behind barbed wire gates, stuck in a maze, married to the game. That love isn't the same as the pain it caused. Because when they turn that key, I'm put behind metal doors, living in a bathroom with two bunks and concrete walls, trapped with my mental and all I've been through, designed to break a human, but they call it rehabilitation. Is it or not? I realize it is if you know your worth, grow within yourself and put in the work. It doesn't matter because I'm more than just a number. If I haven't grown, I would have thought negative, but instead, as a man, I made a rational plan, used objectivity and open mindedness to better myself as a man. Those scars that went heart deep because of those streets and these walls and concrete, I turned into motivation. That game that I was loyal to, I left that spot vacant. Now I build instead of blame and take accountability for choices I've made. Seeking forgiveness, better me is my aim. If I hadn't grown, I wouldn't be the same. See, now I'm humble, gentle, and able to feel my emotions without them taking over my mind or becoming a bad issue. I've grown from a man child to a man who thinks before he reacts now. But if I haven't grown, I wouldn't understand. With growth comes change, and with change comes new. Learn to love Allah first, then yourself, and you'll truly learn who loves you.
And that's a powerful poem. And just real quick, like what were you? When did you write this poem? Let me ask you that first.
I wrote that poem, I'm going to say last year, about October, November.
Mhm. And what motivated you to not only write the poem but share the poem? Because there's a lot of emotions in that poem.
Yeah, with like conversating with members from Free Minds, people from the writer circle. I was heavily in contact with Bill, with Annie, and they really like told me to do it. Like they liked it, my poems, so I used to write them to myself
Mhm.
just to release and like just to have something to express myself without doing it physically, to express myself mentally and like emotionally that way instead of letting it be an emotion that take over me. And I wrote that poem just to help me cope with doing time and like knowing that I had a focus.
And what made you comfortable with sharing the poem? Because it's one thing to write, right? And write your emotions, write your feelings, write your thoughts and your dreams and whatever, right? That's one thing. But what made you uh comfortable with sharing it?
The embracement of how I knew that them poems helped others and like to know that that poem could really like reach to somebody else because I actually read that poem inside the prison
Mhm.
and it was like I ain't gonna lie, I get a little nervous sharing it, like even now, like but just to know that it's for a better cause and for the Free Minds family and for people that really like generally care and like my poems because I receive like letters from Bill and Annie to say, man, keep writing, encourage me to write, to express myself, to like better myself with the poems and let people hear them because they really like them and that helped me. It encouraged me to push forward and to continue writing. And that's one of the poems that end up coming from that communication line.
I love that. And in your poem is one thing that sticks out to me is like when you wrote designed to break a human, but they call it rehabilitation. Is it or not? And then you answered it. It's like you answered through your own experience, right? And I could answer that question in my own experience, right? But you articulated so well. What role, my question is, what role has education played in your writing to like be able, like for you to be able to express yourself in these ways?
Is like education is key. Like I always tell young men that even I was locked up with, like make sure you stay working on yourself because every day we could learn. Every day we could work on ourselves. I believe that we never stop developing. So like say education is a lifelong experience. Like I don't know it all. And I know tomorrow I could learn something from a 2 year old or from reading. And that's what Free Minds kicked in too because of the books, the stuff that I was getting from you all that helped me expand my vocabulary and not just my vocabulary, but my thoughts and my way of thinking. So that was a beautiful thing.
I was just about to ask you, like, what role like has Free Minds played in that, right? Your education, your reading, your writing, and, and you answer that, and it's like, you know, it's an encouragement, and it's beautiful to hear, like, even though you're intelligent and just intelligent overall individual, right? But you still take on like stuff like Free Minds to teach you more, and to me, that's like, it's always amazing, right? And you've been a Free Minds member since 2022, and you've written.
Yes, I
Go ahead.
yes, I officially became a member in 2022, but like I always told you, I've been chasing Free Mind since I was a juvenile. I just always missed it. But it's beautiful. I finally, yeah, I've been with them since then.
And I'm curious, how does it feel to be a part of Free Minds today? Then, say if you've been chasing it all the time.
It's beautiful. Like I love the experience. It's positivity. And like I always say, like on my workout page, I say positivity is
Mhm.
a defense for all negativity. So that's my motto. Like I move like that. So Free Minds is part of that positivity that keep me pushing away the negative.
Oh, well said. Well said. And you receive mail, right, as well. Like you mentioned, Bill and Annie, right? And the folks that are here today, right, they're about to give the feedback to our incarcerated members that are still, in prison, and their poems and stuff like that. How important? First, let me ask you, how important is mail?
Like male in prison is like it's like seeing your child, like getting your name called for that mail call. Like you could relate, Carlos. Like that's something like it could brighten your day. You could be having a worse day, and they could be like, man, Carlos mail or Deon mail, and then when
Mhm.
you see it from somebody that's not your family, but somebody that's reaching out to you genuinely and
Mhm.
love you and becoming your family, you'd be like, man, it touch your heart. Like it's really unthinkable to understand how those letters could help and how they touch you while you're in prison because a lot of people had nobody to talk to. Like I was fortunate to have a family and I got a bigger family through you all, Annie, Bill, and Free Minds. Like it's always, even when I do stuff now, I think about it and I think about the letters and stuff that me, Bill, and Annie had conversations where we build and they help me think rational and they help me build my resilience to prepare me for my release. Or if it could have went bad, they gave me both perspectives. They was open. So like say it was a beautiful thing.
And thank you for sharing that because that's like I love the transparency and your connection. You know what I mean? To like from one human being to another. And I think that's what it's all about, like, especially like everybody that's joining us today. And for everybody that's joining us today, like, what advice do you have for someone who is joining us for the first time? And is about to partake on the feedback, like the poetry feedback and stuff like that. What advice do you have for them?
Yeah, just know that you really touching someone, and to be open mind with them. Keep that positivity going, keep that flowing going, and like the small things, like relate to them, like just like because when you write those letters and when you expand on their poems and stuff like that, just the things that you see, it helped them see things while you're in prison. Like you all is gonna be an extra eye for those guys. So just be open with them, real, honest, and positive, and they gonna love it. Like they gonna love y'all volunteering that, and that's big for the prison.
Yeah, I love that. Beautiful advice. And I want to thank you so much for being here with us today, Dion. And I want to thank everybody for that's coming on, like and joining us for this feedback. Please click the link to read more poems on our virtual tables and then continue on this right week event. Also, if you wish to make a donation, please go into our Free Minds page. Any little amount counts. Please enjoy the poems, and we look forward to seeing you on our next right night. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you, Dion, again for being here with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you, and thank Free Mind.